Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things Mecha. Jumpship incoming.
Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio. This is episode 2 of the Mecha show. What was it? We were originally going to call it Mecha Lecca High, Mecha Heiny Ho, but no, it's Mobile Armor Radio. I'm Rob.
I'm Brian.
I'm Chopper.
Last time we couldn't figure out who was going next. This time you just both
we need to pick an order.
Yeah.
Should be alphabetical order. Oh, B, C. Yeah. It's whoever's show it is, and then alphabetical order after that. How's that sound?
That sounds complicated. Math is hard.
Well, this is the Jumpship. We're jumping in. We're getting into the show now. It's been a month. It is now July, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. July.
Yes, technically it is still July.
As we record this is coming out. What do we do the first day of the month?
It will no longer be July when you're hearing this in the future.
That's right.
I would like to say though, I would like to thank everyone who gave us great reviews and great words of encouragement for the first episode, and I thought it was really refreshing to see everyone jumping on board on this new podcast.
Yep,
yes.
Thanks to all the Facebook channels that we've jumped on, the Facebook groups that everybody's been really welcoming. I expected to get shouted down on a few of them, but every single one was nice.
I did too. I expected to get a little bit of negativity, but you know what? That's great. None of that happened. So
so far so good.
It's been awesome to see the community kind of come out and with open arms and people checking out the show.
And we do have our own Facebook group. If you go to Facebook, look up Mobile Armor Radio. We've had a lot of great people posting. I think posting your mechs or posting different things, rule sets for Gundam games or what you're building or what else we got on there.
I'm really digging what people are posting, what they're building and everything. So I think that's pretty cool.
And people looking for recommendations, I know, was another big one.
Yeah, stuff to buy, which has hurt me a lot since I bought a lot. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yes, so that was thanks to everyone. It's been fun, and I think that's all we have to say in the intro. We'll get right into the show.
Dropship landing.
Well, here it is, the dropship. We're landing on the planet. I love how all of our things are Battletech related, even though we talk about Gundams mostly, but we'll get into more variety. So this is what we're working on, and I'll throw it to Brian first. Brian, what are you working on now? Do you have anything on the go? Anything mech related?
Not as much. Not in this section anyway. I do have some. I've been watching a few shows and got some multimedia stuff to talk about, but right now I'm gearing up for some fantasy events I got coming up for some tabletop gaming. So I got a lot of painting to do and on that front. But always thinking about new ideas.
Fantasy games?
Not sadly no, but I will say if there was a game and I could make an ExFil.End outfit, that'd be the bee's knees.
Yeah, maybe some. Oh, you play Kings of War, right?
Yep.
Maybe some golems or something for. What army do you play?
Right now, I got elves, and I'm probably going to pick up Forces of Nature. So yeah,
Force of Tree Men. You got Tree Men in Force of Nature. You can make some ExFil.End Tree Men.
I make a tree mecha. That sounds awesome. I'm going to do it.
You think about it, you're like, wait a second. Well, Pat, you working on anything?
Yes. I posted in the Facebook page that I got my MSN02 Xeon model. It's a ginormous box. It's about the size of my 24-inch computer monitor. It's nuts. It's a real grade kit, which I enjoy the real grade kits. So, been holding off on actually getting started because I bought the color palette from Vallejo for their Mecha colors for that actual model itself. So,
nice.
So I'm gonna try and airbrush it up and make it look real nice and everything. So that's coming on the horizon real soon for me to actually get started. So, but I also started painting some small Battletech minis too out of that the latest kit from Catalyst. The models themselves are fairly okay. I mean,
not the new introductory set, the last one, the one from last year or the year before, or something like that.
Yeah,
because the new kit doesn't come out until Gen Con, right?
Yeah, not the one that's coming out now. So it's the one that was out. I got it in a product trade.
Nice.
With those guys last year. So I'm just now getting around, now that we started doing this again, or doing this this podcast, I actually brought the box set out and was looking at the minis and started priming them up and started airbrushing them little by little. Getting some inks on there. I'm not going to go too in-depth with them because they're semi-okay sculpts, you know.
Are they plastic?
They're plastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the... amazingly, the only time I like metal miniatures is with Battletech kits.
The old Battletech kits. So, yeah. I mean, with these plastic ones, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. But then again, neither were the metal ones, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They are really small, right? So.
Yeah, but we did go on a buying spree shortly after.
Yeah.
I think we can all say that here.
Shortly after the first podcast, and
I believe it was right after we recorded. We went on, started going on eBay and just throwing stuff at each other. Hey, look at this! Look at this!
Oh yeah.
So one of the things I'm waiting for is my Cyclone armors. I saw that you got yours, and that's
Yep, I'll be talking about it.
Very, very disappointing to me. But I got a Scott Bernard coming. What's the red one again? Is that Rook?
Yes, I believe so. Although these are most Moss-Beta kits, so they're the
Japanese
versions.
Yeah.
They're not the Robotech. They're not actually Robotech kits, so they got their own names. I have no idea. I've never seen actually Moss-Beta, so.
And I got a third one.
Oh yeah, you got all three. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Blow Superior, Moss-Beta.
Mm-hmm.
So just waiting for those three to come in. I got my Zeong. What else? Oh, and then that stupid Gundam crate. Loot crate
the Gundam loot, yeah, or loot.
Gundam loot that you introduced me to. So I bought one of those. I bought the real grade kit for that one. So I'm waiting for that to come next month. So next month, the third episode will be packed with all the stuff that I've received and have now cluttered my hobby desk, my hobby area with.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Nice.
But that's pretty much it as far as that, you know, working with Mantic, I have Gen Con coming up, so my actual time for personal hobby has been kind of taken up with Gen Con prep and stuff. So, but after Gen Con, I'm going to have way more time.
Yeah. Yep, and I've got lots of Gundam kits in. Like I said, we went on a prying spree. And I'll talk about it in the ComStar section, but I just finished 08 MS teams, so I had to get, I made sure I got the kits for all those guys. Plus, I love the, cool. Yeah. Well, I only got the good guys. I don't think I have any of the bad guys. What's the blue one called again?
The Goof.
Yeah, the Goof, yeah. That's definitely on my list of things to buy. But, I also got the GMs, the general suits, like the, in Mobile Suit, Gundam, and I think they were in, 08 too. I like the plain suits. I think they're very cool. And that kit was really fun to put together. It was so simple, but it was, for some reason, it just fit really nicely. And I really enjoyed putting that kit together. And then, as Pat said, I did get my Moss-Beta. I got the red one. I still haven't got my bluish gray one, the Scott Bernard one. But I got the red one, and that kit, it's an old kit. I don't even know when that kit's from, but man, it's after doing Bandai kits, I was so spoiled because this one, there's no like tabs to put things together. You just got to line it up by eye, and it's barely painted. You have to kind of paint it as you go, or I painted it on the sprue because I knew there would be pieces it'd be hard to get in. And it's very loose, although he stands great. Like I don't know if people know what a Cyclone looks like from Robotech or from Moss-Beta, but it's awesome. But it's got a huge backpack because it's a motorcycle, right? It transforms into a motorcycle, and it's got the wheels. This thing stands perfectly, and the legs are so loose. But the way it sits perfectly. You pick it up, and it's like a ragdoll. It's like Woody from Toy Story, but when it's just standing there, it's great. So I have to say it was a big like step up to you're actually trying to like build this kit more than put it together. Like, this thing was much harder. We are spoiled by Bandai kits, that's all I'm saying. But it was fun. So after that, I have some experience for my second kit, so hopefully that'll go a little easier. And then, yeah, I have a lot bought, but I haven't put them together yet, so we'll talk about that in the next one. And I still haven't painted any of my Battletech or my Cav miniatures or my, I bought a lot of Robotech RPG Tactics when it went out of business. Or they didn't go out of business, but they lost the license. Everything was on sale cheap, especially at Miniature Market if you're in the United States. I think they're still selling them super cheap there. So I got a bunch of those kits. So they're hell to put together because they're like doing a Gundam kit, but at, 28mm height. So
I heard they had like a ridiculous number of pieces to them for such tiny models.
Like, it's great for posing and lots of options, but man, they are not for beginners. Those things are high-end kits. There was a lot of cursing going on, and you have to have good glue that dries quickly because otherwise your pieces are falling off all over the place. And
oh, jeez.
There's no like tabs where you want things to fit together nicely. They just like
plastic glue.
Yeah, plastic glue. You and your plastic glue, Pat. Plastic glue. The last time I used plastic glue, I was like 6, and I got to start, for some reason, I don't know why my parents bought this. They probably thought it was the actual Enterprise, but it was the bridge of the Enterprise. So it was all little teeny pieces, and I had plastic glue. It turned into like just a ball of plastic. I think that's the last time I've ever used plastic glue. So
I think you need to get past the...
Yeah, I think I'm psychologically scarred.
You got to get past that, and now that you're an adult and you can handle it better.
It was only like, 40 years ago, so.
Because, I'll be honest with you, I had the same thing too. I had when I was younger, I was too liberal with plus it was that Testors squeeze aluminum tubes.
And the tube would break, so you just have like plastic glue squirting out the sides.
Yeah, and it gets everywhere. I get it. But now with the Master Series Testors applicators, it's a nice little metal tip applicator. It goes on real nice.
Maybe at Gen Con, if somebody's selling it, you'll have to show me what to buy, because we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah. Right now I use Gorilla Glue. It works alright, but I am looking for a better glue. And maybe for plastic kits, I might have to step up to some plastic glue. Yeah, and also I did buy some of that Mecha paint from Vallejo. I bought a bunch of washes and weathering stuff because I happened to be at a hobby store and I saw it. And I didn't want any of the colors because I have mostly all the colors. But I got oiled earth wash. I got rust texture, which is like a brownish rust matte. And also got petrol spill, which is a glossy, like, you put it on after, you don't spray it after, so you put it on at the end, and it kind of gives a neat sheen to things. And I bought some mech varnish, which so far it looks kind of just like gloss varnish. It's not anything special, but I tried it on my my Cyclone, but I might have to put some more, maybe an airbrush it on.
Now, did you get a Cyclone or did you get a Mospita?
Mospita, I got Mospita. Yes. But it is the same thing.
They're kind of the same thing, right?
They are the same thing. They just, it was not a branded kit. It's not a Robotech.
Marketing.
Yeah. It's not the American version. This is, all the instructions were in Japanese and.
Oh, so then you got to yeah, I actually prefer the Japanese straight from Japan, like the actual Mospita kits.
I've never actually seen a Cyclone kit. I don't know. I assume they made them back in the day, but I've never seen one. And I know we were looking through these kits. These ones were reasonably priced. I think they're about $20 each or something like that, Pat. Somewhere
on eBay, yeah, they were 20, but on average, $25.
Yeah, so which is not bad for this kit, but there's also other kits that are like hundreds of dollars. So it's hard to find these cycle. That's why we're amazed we found those kits. So, and we sprung on them.
Yeah, I got the Rook, the Scott Bernard, and. I can't remember who the blue guy is now.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's been too long since I've seen that part of Robotech.
Yeah, that's not the one you watch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Although
I actually didn't mind the third generation.
We'll get into that.
Different segment of the show.
Yeah,
you're right. We're off track again.
Yeah, since we're going to a different segment, I think that wraps up this segment of the show. And we'll move on to ComStar.
Message from ComStar.
Welcome back. It's time for ComStar. It's TVs, movies, books, comics, RPGs, video games, anything you could think of that is not a game. Games are in here. I guess everything. ComStar covers all media.
It was like not scale models that we're working on currently.
Yeah. Yeah, so far. We'll get into let's do the news first, and then we'll get into what we've been watching. How's that sound?
Sure.
That's good.
So the big news is that Gundam movie has been announced from Sunrise and Legendary co-producing. Sunrise is the Japanese producer and Legendary is the American producer. And they just announced it, and that's about it. Not much more is known.
There was a poster.
Everyone, there's a poster, but
well, all it is like
we should point out that Legendary is also the company that put out Pacific Rim. So
yeah. So they already have like a background in it, and Sunrise is a big producer in Japan. So I think it's in good hands. And like we said before, we predicted this last episode, by the way. Ready Player One. I think that proved that something like this could be really cool because they literally had a Gundam in that movie, and it was licensed from Sunrise to be in that movie. So Sunrise was probably like, hey, they could do it, we could do it too. Let's just hope they get a director like Spielberg or someone, who can actually do it that well.
Yeah, a decent.
Yeah.
Not just, Please don't
I think the big thing is that it needs to have a story to tell. I think is going to be the biggest thing is because there's a lot out there. There's a whole lot of Gundam.
Which Gundam do they go with?
I was going to ask that. What do you think? Is it going to be Mobile Suit Gundam? I think it should be, but
I think it will be.
I think
that's a simpler story. Yeah,
I think
it's
it should be most
story.
Yeah. It's good versus evil on that one, kind of.
Yeah.
Line.
Well, it's the evil has got some backstory too. It's got some deep characters too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's ironic that 0079, like the original Gundam, is like kind of told in a black and white scenario, but more often than not, we find that like the good guys are just as bad as the bad guys, and so on and so forth. Like it's very gray in the grand scheme of things.
Well, especially with later shows, Team shows that the good guys aren't that good, and the bad guys are. Some of them are sympathetic. Even in that show, even in Mobile Suit Gundam, there's a lot of sympathetic bad guys. They're like when they killed a robot, it wasn't like a nameless robot. They'd show the guy like crying for his family and stuff like. And then you've got like the Fetty soldiers, like they just go in and like they occupy somebody's house. They break in and just crash there. Yeah, just being jerks. Yeah. So it's great. Yeah. So they can do it. They gotta condense the right things, I think. But I think they can do it. Yeah, I think the basic of the movies there. Maybe even set it up. And I might have. I forget if I talked with you guys about this or stole it from a conversation with a friend. They really should, I think, be really good for them to do is to set it up like a Star Wars, where it's you have your episodes. And we follow, maybe it's like Amuro versus Char for 1, 2, and 3. But then you also have kind of these options to do these tangent movies and media. I think I'm pretty sure I'm stealing that from somebody I talked to about it as soon as it was announced. But it was like, that's a great idea. Don't go in kind of thinking this is going to be a one-shot thing. Really embrace that idea that we can do multiple things with this.
It depends on who's leading the charge, I guess, in those two companies, because
this is true.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pacific Rim was originally supposed to be just a one-up.
Yeah, but nowadays
they didn't realize it was going to be so. They didn't realize it was going to be so popular.
But nowadays, with things like Marvel and DC and all these, every movie's made to be a series. Like, I think they realize the marketing potential of, hey, if this movie does well, let's make more. So they'll leave it open-ending at very least. Like, they might do Mobile Suit Gundam, but obviously it goes on from there, or it goes spin-off like 08 Team, and like there's a lot of places they can go from there. So, or they might just create their own thing, which could be bad, could be good. It matters who's writing it, and no Zack Snyder. Like that's
no Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Or, no
although Zack Snyder, actually, for that kind of movie, he might be all right because he is a showy kind of director. So it might be all right for that. It just, I hope it's not grimdark and that kind of stuff. I like the.
It doesn't need to be.
The tone of Pacific Rim, I think, would be perfect. It's serious, but it's not taking itself too seriously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also, something that has been long simmering in the background is a Robotech movie, which they've been talking about this movie for 15 years. But now with the announcement of Gundam movie, all of a sudden they have this action on Robotech, which is the thing that happens with movies. You get like Twister, and then some other tornado movie comes out, or that kind of thing.
Sharknado.
Yeah.
No, but at the same time, or volcano movies. All of a sudden, there's 10 volcano movies, or
Dante's Peak and Volcano. And
Now is this movie going to come out before Harmony Gold loses the?
That's the thing.
That'll be the trick.
The Robotech movie, I think, has been licensed from the original licensor. Maybe it's hard to say, but they're moving forward. Maybe that's another reason that they're hurrying up on this, is that they might be losing the license. So it's Sony owns the license right now for the movie, and they announced that Wonder Woman is the person who wrote Wonder Woman, Jason Fuchs, is going to be writing the Robotech. And the director of It, is been attached to it. This all could change. This has fallen through how many times? This Robotech movie, like I say, has been announced a long time. But
yeah, and then I guess which version of Macross do they do?
Well, it's Robotech, not Macross. That's the thing.
No.
So
It's
it's going to be Rick Hunter, and it's going to be that kind of thing. Like, yeah, a Macross movie.
Do they start with the Zentradi and then go to the Robotech Masters?
Yeah.
To the Invid again, or is it Invid and Robotech Masters?
You have to start with the getting the ship off the ground, and then
you got to start with the Zentradi. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That makes the most sense.
It matters once again how popular this movie is, if it ever gets more than that, and will they do it very episodic, where they don't end it that whole Robotech story? They'll just do like the first part, like that might be
or they end it like the book series that they wrote.
Oh, what was the difference in the book series?
So, minor spoilers for a book that's been out for quite a few years now.
I don't remember. I read the books. I don't remember how they ended.
Is in the very last book, they went obviously pretty off script. What they did is they basically said, I forget if it was the Mega Road, the ship that Rick went out on is the one, like they go through a time vortex and is the one that crashes, and they just start this loop all over again.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one bit.
That's someone going like, hey, let's just tie this into a nice bow. But the ship is supposed to be that, who is it? Whose ship it is again? The ship that crashes, it's a rebel from the Zentradi, who's kind of...
I forget what the Robotech said it was.
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyways, we'll see if any of that happens. And I'm actually reading the Robotech comic book right now, which is it's taking the Robotech series, but like I think I talked about it last time, it's updating it very much. So I'm curious if it's something like that they would do, or to make it more politically correct to today's viewers and stuff like that.
How is it going on that? Is it good?
It's fine. It's fine. It's very similar. If you've watched Robotech, it's very similar. It's just they're just throwing in slight different things. Like just in the last episode, spoilers, is Rick went blind. He's been going blind, so I don't know how they're gonna do something with that. And like they've just been throwing little things. That Captain Global's dead, so yeah, it's just been
that changes things.
Yeah, throwing little things. Yeah, he's dead, and I think they think it's what's his name? What's the other pilot?
Max?
No, the
Roy?
Skulls. Yeah, Roy. They think Roy did it.
Roy.
Roy did it.
Yeah, so it's like there's some weird like stuff going on, but so far so good. It's very similar, but just tweaking it slightly. So we'll see how it goes. But if they do that with the movie, that's both these movies. I just hope they don't try to reinvent the wheel and do their own thing, which never works. I think
not as often, no.
Yeah, when they take something that's been around for a long time, like Transformers, and just destroy it.
Yeah, they try to do their own interpretation in the comic.
All of a sudden, they're knights from King Arthur times.
Just take a page out of the Marvel universe.
Exactly. You can stick close to the themes. You don't have to be exact, but stick close to it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that wraps up the news, I think, unless I missed anything. But Chopper.
Just to throw out there, like just got announced, or I saw it earlier today, kind of tangentially related. There's a new, I forget if it was a series or movie for the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon just got announced.
Yeah, I guess it's against Mandalore.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
last kind of adventures with Ahsoka and Anakin before the movie.
Oh, it's not the continuation of the Rebel story. It's something different.
Correct. Yeah, this was actually the continuation of the Clone Wars cartoon. So it was this. Basically, they're kind of going in doing the season 6 that they always wanted to do.
That's interesting. Weird choice, but interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited though. I'm a big fan of that franchise.
They got AT-STs and AT-ATs. They're mechs pretty much. So.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We'll let it slide this time.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, so Chopper, what have you been up to? Watching anything or reading anything?
Well, again, like I said, the last episode, I started rewatching the Gundam series, starting with Mobile Suit Gundam, the one that brought me into it in the beginning.
And you're watching the movies, right?
No, I'm watching the episodes.
Oh, are you watching episodes? Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm not watching the movie. I'm actually watching the episode series, television series.
Nice.
The 30-minute episode one. So I'm about halfway done now.
Nice.
Were you shocked by the nudity and the people getting shot and the
no,
swearing?
It's the same as I remember it from before.
Yeah.
I did pick up a copy of the Mobile Suit Gundam on Blu-ray with that link that you sent out the other day, Brian.
Oh yeah.
What was the name of that store or whatever it was?
Right Stuff.
Yeah, Right Stuff. So
with one F.
they were selling a bunch of Blu-rays. So both Blu-rays for all the whole Gundam series, or Mobile Suit Gundam series, was only like $40.
Nice.
Yeah.
In Blu-ray. So I was like, oh, what the hell?
If I had a Blu-ray player, still, I might actually do that.
Do you not have a?
They have the DVDs for sale too.
The DVDs are even cheaper.
Even less likely to have a DVD player. I don't have any kind of disc player anymore.
How do you not have a Blu-ray player?
I don't need it anymore.
They're like
I probably
$20.
have one in the house. Yeah, like I had one. I just don't need it.
I think like a PlayStation plays Blu-ray, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't have any. I don't have any
PS3
systems.
I have. I'm a collector of just having stuff like that. Anyways, I have all of the Robotech series on DVD, and
I do too. Yeah.
And I've replaced it with Blu-ray now, and I have all the. So I'm adding Gundam to this. I have all the original Star Blazers or Space Battleship Yamato on Blu-ray now, as well as the original series for Battlestar Galactica.
The Star Blazers, the Yamato 2199 series, which is kind of the new kind of retelling of that story.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I haven't actually seen it yet.
It is really good. And that is also on sale.
That's the problem with this show is you end up spending way too much money on this stuff.
Yeah. So, as far as, again, my time is very limited with Gen Con coming up. So I get to watch the Gundams while I'm doing other things in the background.
Yeah.
So, I remember watching them when I was younger. But I'm watching the actual TV, the series this time now, the episodes back to back.
Yeah, it's good to watch because, when you're younger, you might miss a few or you don't.
Or something goes over my
attention.
head, and now I'm thinking, oh, now I remember that.
Yeah,
that makes much more sense now.
Yeah, it's a totally different feel for sure.
So,
anything else?
No, that's it. It's actually, my time has been very limited.
Brian, what you been up to?
My time has also been pretty limited, but I made good use of it. I've been watching, I think I mentioned last time, this anime called Darling in the Franxx. It's a super robot show. Now that I've seen a couple more episodes, it's very much in the vein of like an Evangelion, Gurren Lagann kind of show, with a big kind of that cerebral, like there's a lot of things going on in the background. It's a really good show. Hard to recommend to people just because it's also got a strong, I guess, fan servicey kind of aspect to it. but it's treated in a fairly mature manner. So it's that kind of weird, like I said, that's where kind of that cerebral play comes in. That if you're interested in that show, feel free to message me on the Facebook page. I'll talk more about it there. But
what's it called again?
It's called Darling in the Franxx. FRANXX.
Is that a indication of the maturity rating of the XX?
It's nothing explicit. So
just psychologically damaging.
Oh, so this is actually just released this year.
Yeah, this is a show that's been coming out. It just started at
the beginning of this year.
Yeah. So I'm watching it on a channel called Crunchyroll, which has got like free legal streaming and everything like that. So I watched there. It's been pretty good. But like I said, if you like, like the Evangelion series, not just for it having giant robots, but for a lot of the other aspects of that show, as far as characters and psychological problems, maybe check it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Evangelion. That's some of those parts. That was a little hard for me sometimes. I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Oh yeah. Other things. I got connected with a couple friends that I have online, and we got together and we played the Gundam Breaker game. Not the new one. We played number 3, which shows how big of a dork I am. Kind of. It's kind of a. It's more of an action third-person hack and slash, I guess. Be pretty close, but it's basically, if you're familiar with the Gundam Build Fighters series, where it's all about like making the models and then they go and play a video game with them. It's pretty much that, but like an actual video game.
Yeah.
So you like unlock parts and you get to completely customize these mobile suits.
That's big.
And it's a whole lot of fun. Eventually I'll probably post some screenshots of mechs that I put together there, because it's a lot cheaper when you're just unlocking it with fake money.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. Other things. Ironically, talking about Robotech, I did finally pick up a copy of the what the heck is it? The Shadow
Chronicles.
Shadow Chronicles, which I'd never seen before, but I'd heard about. I found it as a used DVD disc traders. So I got that, and I got a lot of things recently. Like I normally, on the show, we probably won't always be pushing like when there's a sale on some store X.
Unless they sponsor us, then we'll definitely push anything you want us to.
Yeah. As of right now, as of the time of this recording, we are not getting anything from them to say that they have a huge sale going on. But I also was on there, and today I picked up the full series for Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, which is the sequel of the original Gundam series, the direct sequel, which is one of the few ones that's not like streaming online anywhere. And I never had a copy of it, so finally getting that. And then there was a copy of the Gundam The Origins movies that they made so far. So like episodes 1 through 4, and it's all about Char and Sayla when they're kids and growing up to become the Red Comet and joining White Base, respectively.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's beautifully animated. These have been coming out in the last couple of years, actually, and it's based off that Gundam The Origins manga books that I was talking about last time. And so it's the same art style as the original, but with like modern animation techniques.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so very unique character designs for like everybody. But yeah, let's see other fun things. I also picked up Starship Troopers, Traitor of Mars.
Is that a new Starship Troopers?
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow. I liked all the other ones.
For those unfamiliar, the fourth Starship Troopers one is Invasion is, in my opinion, the second best Starship Troopers movie there is.
It was very much like the first one, where it was a lot more like satirical.
Yeah. And this one actually has the return of Casper Van Dien to Johnny Rico in this kind of big boss character that he has become. he looks a lot like Solid Snake in here. And Dina Meyer is returning as Dizzy Flores. She was the one with the wilder hair. The other,
yeah. Didn't she die?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's in this movie somehow.
I like it when they don't care about continuity.
Oh yeah, it's great.
What actors can we get?
And DeRay Davis, whoever that is, probably an important person. So yeah, that's I got that. So I'm excited to watch that because I haven't seen that one yet. Nice. That covers a lot of it, man. I feel like I did a lot.
You're definitely the guy who watches anime in the group. Yeah.
I watch quite a bit of it.
Cool. I'm intrigued by this Darling in the Franxx.
It's different. I'll just throw it out there. It's different.
Well, so it touches on various bases of different things, like the pairing of two people to controlling a mech. Yes,
and I won't go into detail on how they pilot cooperatively on this show.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, just by saying that, I'm scared to think.
Yes. If you Google it, you will know why I didn't mention it here. I kid. It's a crazy show. But yeah, that's that about covers it. The only other thing I've kind of got, which is again kind of on more of a tangent, is I started reading Neuromancer again.
Yep, classic.
So it I don't think I've read that since high school, which has been several years, quite a few years for me. So it's going to be interesting to read it again with modern takings on like cyberpunk culture and whatnot.
I read it last year, I think, or the year before, and it holds
nice.
up. I'm pretty impressed with it. Like, he's still the master of that genre.
Yeah.
And yeah, fun.
All right, I think that wraps everything for me. I realize it was a lot.
No, it's good. Personally, I've been like I said, I finished Await MS Team for Gundam, and it's like Vietnam for Gundam until the end, where it turns into Heart of Darkness, where it's like, what the hell's going on?
We skipped that episode. We don't speak of that episode.
It was good. It just was weird. A weird ending to a television show. The best thing about that show is it's only, I think, 13 episodes or 12 episodes. Nice short. And, yeah, so that was fun. And I'm going to be starting Thunderbolt soon. Because I'm watching them in chronological order of the series. Like, not of
Let me know how that one goes.
Yeah. And, yeah, what else have I told you reading the, Robotech comic. I'm also reading a comic called Mech Cadet U, which is, by, Greg Pak. Amazingly, it's pretty good. And it's about a kid. There's giant robots that are kind of sentient, but they bond with children, or they bond with pilots, and usually it's children. And then there's this big, like, almost like an invasion coming, and they have to fight off this invasion, but the humans are, the government's kind of jerks, and they want to kill the robots to make a bigger robot and stuff. So it's got some intrigue, but it's very a kid's comic. Like, any kid could read it. Like, it's, I'd say, YA kind of thing. But it's fun. So that's one to check out. Mech Cadet U, YU. And nice. That's, obviously still playing Battletech. I've been playing Iron Man, and it's been going. I haven't died yet, so it's good.
Nice.
Books, I've been reading, I'm still reading once again, I'm a chronological guy. I went back and started reading all the Battletech books in chronological order, and I'm reading the one all about the Kurita now. So it's interesting to see that from their point of view, because usually you see it from the Davian / Steiner. Yeah, they're usually the good guys, but this one's the Japanese faction is the good guys.
The Kirita. I always liked the Kirita.
Yeah. They're definitely unique. Like that's why I like Battletech so much. It's hey, let's take some stereotypical people from Earth and let's say, hey, what happens if these are ruling people in different star systems and at war always. So it's simple, but yet the way they write the books, there's so much intrigue, and it's not just robots fighting each other. There's a lot of political stuff going on and wrangling, and it's fun. So far I've enjoyed all the books I've read from that series, even the bad ones. So that's been fun. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so.
I've got one last thing on my front. I was just reading the back of the Starship Troopers movie, and in big letters at the very top it says, Johnny Rico is back. And it gives me pause because the second movie is the only one he's not in.
Yeah.
He's in all of them.
I did enjoy the Starship Troopers cartoon, because that was closer to the books. So there's actually, once again, there's mechs in that, the big suits and stuff, which is...
Yeah, the actual marine suits that they drop from the ships.
Yeah. So it's...
Allowed them to jump, like, whatever feet in the air it was, 30 feet in the air.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I guess
that's where the on the bounce comes from.
No, they didn't do any of that in the movies.
Well, I think they just didn't have the budget for it. Some of the movies, I think, too, either show them in the background or imply they're there, but they're not front and center. They use the Marines in the front and center. So yeah, I think that covers our media right now. Oh, books. Comic or role playing games. I just bought a bunch of BattleTech books on eBay.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
There was a big lot of BattleTech and MechWarrior RPG books, and I just bought a bunch of them. So adding to my Robotech RPG collection, I now am starting a BattleTech RPG collection, which is... I looked at the list of how many different books there are from BattleTech, and it's like hundreds of books.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. Even, and we're talking before the clans even came about.
Yeah. Well, they just started pumping up. FASA started pumping out the books, and then... there was somebody in between when Catalyst took over. There's another one. It's amazing how many books there are. But so far, I'm really more into the FASA ones because that's from my time of playing BattleTech. So
yeah, I think that's mine too. I'm more in tune with the FASA than the Catalyst.
Yeah, so I'm going to start trying to fill in that as I can. I'm trying to get them cheap because you can. I've been
looking to get the third edition FASA BattleTech box. I mean, the last one I saw.
Yeah,
it was $300.
Yeah, I have the second edition, but it's beat up because it's the one I used, so the box is like falling apart. But I just got what's the space one? Battle Space. I just got that in a set, and it's like pristine condition, so that's kind of cool.
Nice.
I don't know.
I'd like to pick up some Renegade Legions to add to it because I remember playing a lot of the Renegade Legions and stuff with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's so much. Like there's literally. I think every planet has a book now, so.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe I might do some role playing in that. Maybe I'll break into it. We'll see how it goes.
Do you have the MechWarrior rulebook?
Yep, I have the second edition, I think. That's once again falling apart because it's the one I had back in the day. And I got a lot of adventures in that set too, so sort of MechWarrior adventures, which is kind of cool, like actual scenarios. So might check those out. So, anybody want to play on Skype? Let me know. Maybe we'll Skype some RPG. Maybe we'll put them out as special episodes.
You can do the RPG.net.
Yes. It's complicated, and I can't think that much. So, I think that wraps up ComStar. We'll move on to the MechBay Hanger, our main topic. I think it's going to be fun. Or not. We'll see.
We'll see.
Lots of arguing. That's what I want.
Now entering the MechBay Hanger.
Welcome back. It's the MechBay Hanger. We're going to have a round table discussion, and this time I get to choose. This time, it's something that it may be just me, but personally, I have an issue with using the word mecha for robots. It's a slight difference, and it might be just me, so I'm going to discuss it with you guys. So, is there a difference to you guys? For me, there is. Is there a difference?
For me, I don't think there is much of a difference.
I would say that I think I would personally, I can differentiate. Like I could describe one and not the other, but I have caught myself using them interchangeably. So that's fun, and depending on audience too, because some people, don't know.
Yeah, you say big stompy robot and they understand, but if you say a mecha, they're like, "What's a mecha?"
I sit in the camp where I don't think there's that much of a difference, so I would probably lean towards there is not a difference.
Well,
you picked the wrong people to have an argument with.
You'll have an argument because, Well, this is all me because in Japan there is no difference. That mecha means robots. Mecha also means planes, tanks. It means anything that you it's a mechanical. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for some reason, mecha always meant to me something that's piloted, and robots are unpiloted. That's just not what it is, but that's what it always felt like to me.
Yeah, that's kind of the distinction that I make when I decide to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess the difference here then is what you grew up with. Because I grew up. It's not unknown that I'm fairly older here, and the Japanese converted shows that I used to watch when I was little, like after school, on UHF before cable, Channel 44 in Chicago to be exact, which is now Telemundo. The main shows I used to watch a lot was the Space Giants. In Japan, it was called Ambassador Magma. These were giant robots, but but they were sentient robots. So in the sense, it was still a mech to me.
Yeah.
And then the Space Giants was basically a family of robots, a gold, a silver, and then if anyone wants to learn about the Space Giants, the head guy, the gold guy, it was funny. You should check these things out. I look back now, I'm thinking, why was I so into this show? It's this giant gold robot with 2 radio antennas out his head with long gold hair.
Nice.
But he wanted to have a family because he had bonded with a Japanese family scientist, and that scientist built him and his wife a sun robot, which looked like a human, but he wore like a helmet, like a motorcycle helmet that's the open face with 2 radio antenna out of that. But these guys would change into starships.
Oh, they could transform
when they flew. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They would change into spaceships when they flew. And then another one I used to watch was Johnny Sacco and his robot, which I can't remember what the Japanese name was. But that kid basically voice imprints on this giant robot, and not only the robot follows him, so this government agency uses him to help protect the Earth from the bad guys.
Nice.
And in a sense, is also being piloted, but it still was a mech to me.
Yeah.
But it literally says robot in the damn title.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So I see that's why I don't see a big difference in myself. And don't get me started with Matt Zingers. Is it Matt Zinger?
Matt Zinger
yeah.
Yeah, Matt Zinger Z. And then when those toys came out in America, they were called Shogun Warriors. Yeah. And they were as robots, and one of them had a plane that docked in its head. So I still equate robots and mechs as the same thing.
Well, I do have the history. Let's go through the history here of giant stompy robots.
Yes.
So the 1880 Jules Verne novel, La Maison à Vapeur, the steam house. It featured a steam-powered, piloted mechanical elephant. So that's like the earliest mechanical piloted.
That sounds rad.
It does sound rad. I wish they did a steam house movie. Although a giant elephant, well, isn't that kind of like the end of was it the second Amazing Spider-Man with the rhino?
With the rhino guy?
Oh, in the actual movie, yeah.
Yeah. Terrible. Next is obviously the tripids, or the tripods, or however you want to pronounce it, from H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, 1897. They're the first, hey, that looks like something that's it is an alien, but that's more of like what we think of as a mech. And then in Japan, the first one was a Japanese street play called Ogun Bat in 1931, and had a piloted humanoid giant robot as the enemy, which I think is hilarious. That the Japanese the first idea of giant robots in Japan was in a street play. Like, that says a lot, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 1931. 1948 was the first manga, which was Nuclear Powered Android. And the name of this in Japanese is about 30 characters long. And do you want me to try to pronounce it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
We apologize in advance.
Yes. Gen Sur Yukos in Zoningen. I can't say it fast, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, so it's 1948 first manga that's a nuclear powered android, so I assume that's just a robot. And then we get Gigantor. Do you remember Gigantor, Pat?
I remember Gigantor.
It's based on Tetsujin 28 Go, a 1956 manga. It came out in 1964, and that's the first super robot anime ever. That was the first animated super robot. And he wasn't, he was remote controlled. He wasn't piloted. He was remote controlled. So that's close, but it's, I guess he could have sat inside his head or something, but Gigantor was remote controlled. And then, we were just saying, Mazinger Z was 1972. It's the first piloted mecha anime. So it's the first time there's a pilot in the anime.
So you're not going to include Ambassador Magma and did they not show up in the timeline?
No, that they might have been later than that.
No, they were in the 60s. I know for a fact Johnny Sokka and his giant robot was 1967.
Well, if they're robot, that wasn't piloted though. That's if after 1964, that was the first robot. I'm just keeping it simple here, Pat.
Okay, I just don't destroy my childhood.
And then Astro Ganger, 1972, was a giant sentient robot and the first mecha anime in color. So that's the first color one, 1972. That's pretty impressive. And then there's types of mecha. Do you want to hear all the different types of mecha that we've kind of hit on some of these, which is it's interesting. There's actually 4 different types.
Where I guess we should.
What resource are you using?
Yeah, what is this?
Oh, this is all Wikipedia. This is the beautiful Wikipedia.
Okay.
So the first type of mecha is sentient, so self-aware, think, sometimes feel emotions. And they could be aliens like Transformers. AI, like Brave Police J. Decker. Anybody ever heard of that? It's from the 90s. There's also, or you could be magic. Dargarn, and the Brave Fighter and the Legend of Dargarn. It was 92. They're all magic, I guess. Then we have remote controlled externally, like the Tetsujin 28 Go and Giant Robo. Is Giant Robo what you're talking about?
That's Johnny Sokka and his flying robot.
There you go. Giant Robo. 1967 that was from. Then we have wearable mecha. So it's powered exoskeletons like the Genesis Climber Mospeada, Bubblegum Crisis, and Active Raid, which is Active Raid's 2016. I'm curious what that is. Have you run across that, Brian?
Can't say I've seen that or heard of that one.
I might want to check this one out. Active Raid.
Huh. I've been meaning to get into Bubblegum Crisis, though. That one, I've seen one episode and it was really good.
Yeah, Bubblegum Crisis is unique, that's for sure. I watched a few of the movies. Also in the wearable section was when you merge with a mecha, there's King of Braves, Gay Guy Gar, and things like that. You can actually merge with a mecha, I guess. Or combine with robots such as Transformers, Super God, Master Force, and or become mechanical themselves as Brave Command Dag-1. So that's all in the wearable section. You can you either wear it or you become it. And then lastly, we have piloted. So they're treated as vehicles. Mazinger Z, Mobile Suit Gundam, Macross, but you can also have piloted mecha that are sentient. So you can have combos too of this. So that's interesting too. These are not hard and fast rules. And because you can have sentient ones and you can have organic creatures such as the Evangelion. Those ones are technically creatures that you pilot. So there you go.
They're even more than that. Oh.
Well, yeah. We won't get into it.
No.
So my question is, since this show is about mecha, what about Transformers? Are we ever going to talk about Transformers on the show?
Sure.
Dude,
Transformers Prime is awesome.
See, this is my hackles are getting up.
Is Transformers Prime, is that the YouTube?
No, Prime was the CG cartoon.
Oh, yeah. What is the one that's on YouTube now?
I don't know. I know there's like the Rescue Bots is kind of their main.
I'll look it up here.
Yeah, so my nephew likes the Rescue Bots. They're like, that's a really kiddie one.
So does my nephew.
Now, you don't believe that Transformers should be mecha or robots?
Well, they're definitely robots. I just don't think they're mecha. I don't think they deserve to be on this show. I liked Transformers as a kid. I had Transformers, but I don't know. Well, Transformers is such a... Well, I was going to say they could take over the show, but Gundam already does that, so they'd be afraid.
It's a machinima series.
Oh, okay.
Transformer Power of the Primes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you guys think Transformers should be on it?
I do, actually.
Yeah, I'm fine with them being on the show. I guess I'm not as a huge diehard Transformers fan as some people get about the show, but I've liked the ones I like, and then I kind of ignore the rest.
Maybe that's the thing. I've never.
It falls into my robot thing, like we were talking about.
Yeah. I think they've been doing some really interesting things in the comics side of that recently. I've got a lot of friends that do kind of have their finger on the pulse of there, and it's been they've been trying a lot of really cool things.
Well, the comics always, I remember back even in the day, the comics and the TV show, it's same with G.I. Joe, but the comics were so much more adult than the TV show. The TV show was so grindingly kiddie, where like nobody ever got hurt, nothing ever changed, it always reset. Where the comics, people would be killed.
Was Hasbro. That was Hasbro.
Yeah, but the comics are still Hasbro.
Were they Hasbro though?
Yeah. So it's all licensed from Hasbro. It's just, for some reason in the comics, they just murder people. Until the movie, they never murdered anybody in the Transformers. But
well, if you think about it, the comics, like your medium is requiring a reader level. Like you have to know how to read, whereas a cartoon could be at a younger audience.
Yeah,
hence the toys.
It's the babysitter factor.
Yeah,
you can't
still
have people
cool.
being murdered.
All good.
Well, not to get this is probably another topic, but the whole idea of kids not seeing consequences as children is an issue. Like you're supposed to see the consequences of actions, because if you think you can shoot someone and they don't die, they just get back up or they miss all the time or whatever. There's no consequences, and they've proven that it's better to show someone getting killed or hurt than not showing that, because as a child you learn that maybe I shouldn't do that.
Like the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
Wow. Exactly. That show, you learn some stuff in that show where I'm like, whoa, this was Japanese children. I understand why porn is all anime.
with concern to Transformers again, then what is your hang up with them? Is it because they're sentient robots?
Maybe my hang up is that they've never had a good show. They've never had a good movie. They've never had. I've read the comic books a little bit, but even then, the art was terrible in the comics. I always remembered, and maybe that's.
So you think it's just subpar?
I just don't like them.
You think it's just subpar?
Yeah, I think mostly.
It's not that. It's not that you don't feel like they're a robot or a mecha.
Well, they're robots, but that's once again. Do we talk about robots? That's the question. But I guess you guys are feeling that we should talk about robots sometimes.
Yeah, I think so, because then, that also opens us up to, like, androids like Mega Man, which is a huge franchise that I like.
What about Astro Boy? Astro Boy is a
Astro Boy
mecha?
would be great.
Yeah. Is he a mecha? He's only human-sized.
I mean, I would definitely add, like, my childhood here, like the Mazinger Z's, the Giant Robo.
Well, Mazinger Z's fine. He's piloted.
Johnny Sokka and the Giant Robot, and the Space Giants, if we want to use the American title.
See?
I mean, these are all things I grew up with, and these are the things that got me into giant robots.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I've never...
And the Battletech and all that stuff.
Has there been any giant robot I've liked? I'm trying to think now. Maybe that's the issue. I'm trying to think.
Well,
what's his name? The Vin Diesel. He was a great giant robot.
Iron Giant.
Yeah. Iron Giant.
Was he the Iron Giant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Ambassador Magma, if you look at Ambassador Magma, he's just a sentient robot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Originally, when we thought of this show, it was more. I think we were thinking more BattleTech, Robotech, Gundam.
Yeah, probably a little bit more.
But these are all roots, though. I mean, to not go this far back, I mean, these are all the roots that started it. I mean, just following the list that you put out there, they all
I understand. Well,
all roads lead to Rome.
I won't limit you guys by saying no more robots.
Sure.
I've been outvoted. I lose this round table.
I mean,
robots are acceptable.
I see what you're saying, but you understand where I'm coming from. Like, my love for mechs wouldn't have happened if I didn't watch Johnny Sacco and his giant robot or flying robot, and
I understand
the Space Giants or any of those old.
See, my love starts at Robotech, so I think that's, like you say, it's an age thing. Where, like, yeah. For me, it's vehicles. Like, they're just vehicles you drive, and it's cool.
Because those
like,
it's space. It's Battle of the Planets, Space Battleship Yamato, Johnny Sacco's flying robots, Prince Planet. These are all Japanese stuff I watched on UHF, no less.
But I do think, like, it is a fun topic to discuss too. Is like, what makes something sentient versus something that's piloted. What kind of different themes come into play? How do we perceive them differently?
Yeah, I mean, Gundam in itself was a somewhat sentient robot. I mean, the whole premise between the Gundam was to learn as it battles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's almost AI, right? But is it real AI or just a learning computer? Is that AI? Now we're getting.
I mean,
if you watch the
old series, though, they only make reference for every once in a while, like when they're flying the core fighters. What's his name, Rio?
Yeah,
Rio
was saying just let it fly itself.
Yeah, even that's why Amuro can fight so well, is that the robot helps him fight.
Yeah.
And it keeps learning, and that's all the time the Xeon guys are like, how is this kid doing this well? It's because that's why the Gundam is special, not just a gym. It's learning, unlike the old versions of the mobile suits.
Yeah, and then we float into Voltron. Then are we?
Yeah, that's the question. Then this is getting a slippery slope here, people.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So with your robot thing, then where does Voltron fit in? Because in all honesty, my first delve into Voltron is the 10 vehicle.
Yeah, that's much. I like that much cooler.
Not the Lions. The Lions came secondary to me.
I saw the Lions first, but when I was only rarely I ever saw the vehicle version, and I loved it. I was like, this is so
10
cool.
or 15 vehicles? Because I think it's
a lot.
It's 15 because I think
it's 3 and 5, 3 groups of 5, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's Armored Fleet something XV in Japan.
Oh, maybe it's better to watch that show then. Maybe I have to find that. Some of these shows, I don't think they're even been dubbed or subbed into English.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, well, there's a 3-robot Voltron.
Yeah, there's the other one that was supposed to be
that has 6 arms.
The next season. That was supposed to be the next season, and the show got canceled before it could happen.
Yeah.
I think I had toys for it though. The toys released, but the show never came out.
There's that thing then. So I mean, is Voltron a mech or a robot in your opinion?
Oh, he's a mech because he's a combination of 3 mechs. Or, sorry, 5 mechs, right? 5 of them?
Well,
5.
Or 15.
Or 15
the Lions,
or whatever. Yeah.
The Lions choose their pilots.
But they're are they sentient? Is the Lion sentient? Yeah. But then we're going into, does powered armor...
meow for a lion?
Maybe. Do they dream of electric sheep? That's what we really need to get into.
That's true. But then it moves into other way too, is just because it's piloted, what about Iron Man? Is Iron Man a mech? Again,
so this
fly without him.
I think we're just piling up evidence in my corner.
Well, I'm just trying to define our show now. Like,
sure.
I think it's everything.
You
can't have
in the audience.
I think it's the chicken. Think. It's the chicken or the egg. Good point. I mean, you can't have one without the other.
Well, there's no doubt. We can't go that far because there's things that influenced even that back in the day. Like, we're going to do a literary podcast about Jules Verne or H.G. Wells at that point. But you have to
Isaac Asimov.
I think we're getting a clear picture that anything goes. If we can somehow justify it, just like Star Wars, we justified it by saying there's AT-AT and ST-ATs.
If there's a mechanical component, and it's big.
No, I agree with you. No,
big doesn't matter.
I mean, it has to be robot-ish in its form, I guess.
But then Voltron's out. They're not robots, and they're cats.
Well, in their one form, they're a robot.
See what? Yeah, I think it's pretty much. Hey, do what you want.
And what about cyborgs? They're more people.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't put those in a cyborg into that.
Even androids either, like Data or anything like that. I think you're falling outside of the realm when you're getting into those kind of robots.
Because we're really talking about mobile armor. We're talking about things that.
Yeah. Well,
I think when you use the guideline of mobile armor, it falls into place. Like, while you don't want Transformers would fit in a kind of a mobile armor kind of a sense.
Because
so
people
tanks,
drive them.
Yeah, so do tanks, though. People drive tanks. And tanks are mobile armor.
And the gun tank is definitely a mecha.
Oh, I love the gun tank. It's one of my favorite Gundams.
Actually,
I think gun cannon is maybe my favorite, though.
The big red one. I don't like the gun cannon, I'll be honest with you. I should take it back. I don't like the animation of gun cannon. Because he just looks red. Like he's wearing red pajamas. He looks like he's wearing red pajamas.
All the animations for Mobile Suit Gundam were great.
Yeah.
For the 70s, I thought they were really good.
For the 70s, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
And then they ran out of money, I think.
As all 70s shows did.
And well into the 80s and 90s, most of those shows, especially if you watch Gynax shows in particular, almost all of them run out of money by the end.
I think we're falling out of our purview here, people.
Yeah.
So robots and mechs. I think we kind of established a guideline, right?
Yeah.
I lost. You guys won. I get it. It's fine. I was in charge of this show.
We shouted you down.
I don't know if we shouted you down. I think we just had, there's just, it's hard to not.
I think it's kind of fun.
I guess
to
this comes from his not wanting the Transformers. and let's be honest, I probably won't talk a lot about the Transformers either because he came in a time when I was a bit older. I didn't like the Hasbro version, the cartoon itself. Like you said, Rob, it was too.
I had affinity for G.I. Joe because that was perfect age for that. But I was a G.I. Joe man, not a Transformers man. I guess that's the way it works.
So, but I won't say that Transformers are not robots or mecha. I couldn't.
Okay, I get it. Yes, as Brian said, if please go to our Facebook group.
Yes.
Discuss if you're on my side and think that robots aren't mecha, or if you want to say, Rob, you're an idiot. Of course, robots are mecha, and I understand.
Discuss civilly.
Yes, please be discussed civilly.
So I think that wraps up the roundtable for this time. Next time will be Brian, so think of something to talk about next time, Brian.
I will.
And we'll get to the ExFil, and we'll get the hell out of here.
Let's ExFil out of here.
Welcome to the ExFil. We're getting out of here. We just have to do some housekeeping. You guys, anything to report? Pat and I will be at Gen Con. Pat, let them know where we are.
We'll be at Gen Con. We'll be at the Mantic Games booth, which is number 835 in the dealer hall. Come by, say hi. Say you're big fans of Mobile Armor Radio, and we'll shake your hand and give you a business card.
Yeah, we got business cards. They look awesome. Collect them all.
There's even a super rare version that doesn't look good.
Yeah. It's a collector's edition that looks horrible.
Yeah.
Limited edition.
We'll be there at Gen Con for 2 weeks. Swing by, say hi.
Oh, in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
I was like, I'm not going to take 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
We'll just be sitting in the dealer hall. It's not even open anymore. We're just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yes. Plus Mantic Night. If even if you're not interested in Mantic games, we'll be at was it Hard Rock?
Hard Rock, yeah.
Hard Rock Cafe.
Yep. Come by, say hi, drink some Hard Rock, and hang out with us. And Brian will be there for that too, right, Brian?
Yes, I'll be joining for Mantic Night.
Fun times.
Mm-hmm. Keep posting your models being built, your kits. Let's get some CAV models. Let's get some Battletech models on there. I'd like to see what people are doing with their figs.
Mobile Armor Radio on Facebook, or also on Twitter. I never remembered the Twitter name. That's the problem. I believe it's M Armor Radio, I think, on Twitter.
Is it M Armor?
M Armor Radio. Yep. M Armor Radio. Armor spelt the American way because there's 2 Americans on the show, so I have to appease them. So please follow us on Twitter, and definitely come to the Facebook group because that's the place that we hang mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you are, other things too I'd like to see is if you guys are playing Battletech games in your local area, feel free to reach out to people out there. Let's get this community to find each other.
Yeah, Battletech.
Let's use Facebook.
Yeah,
RPGs. Play some. Yeah, if you were one of the few people to get your Robotech tactics,
or even role playing games though too. Anything.
Yeah.
Get together. Like I said, if anybody's interested, maybe we'll do a Skype show too.
Yeah, feel free to. Games. Oh, maybe we can even do a contest where we have the winners play a game of MechWarrior on Skype.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty sweet.
All right, we got other things to do, so.
And we are on iTunes now, officially. We're on iTunes, so just search for Mobile Armor Radio there. And also the Mobile Armor Radio is on Podbean. You can go to mobilearmorradio.podbean.com for the show there. We have show notes, which has the times for what we're talking about on there, which is good. And if you have anything else, you can email us at mobilearmorradio@gmail.com. Mobile spelled with an E, armor's not no U in armor, at gmail.com. And I think that might cover everything. Anything else? I think that covers everything we're going to be talking about.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Definitely come say hi at Gen Con if you happen to be there. Hopefully we'll be getting the new Battletech starter sets if they're available. I have a feeling they might sell out quick, so we might not get a chance, but we'll try.
Yeah, we'll probably get one.
And we're also going to try to get the Weta Workshop guys. Maybe even get an interview with those guys about GKR, Giant Killer Robots.
Yes.
Because we definitely can, we have mobile recording, so we might be able to get some interviews in this show too.
Yeah, I will talk with my contact there and see what she says if she'd be interested.
Pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So until next time, watch more shows, play more games, build more models. Anything else? Paint stuff?
Paint stuff, share with us. And
enjoy.
Pilot your robot responsibly.
And don't outbid me on eBay stuff, you people. Thank you, and good night. I've been Rob. I guess we should say who we are.
I've been Brian.
And I'm Chopper. Again, we have not picked an order.
Alphabetical order.
Is that what we decided?
So hard.
Well, then how did you go first?
Because I'm in charge in this show. I always have to.
Oh, so it's alphabetical order after you're in charge. Okay, let's start that over again.
No, it's too late. This is all going in.
I want to do it correctly.
We're doing it
I'm
live.
Rob.
I'm Brian.
I'm
Rob.
Chopper.
Oh, we are terrible. See you next month.
No, we're Mobile Armor Radio.
Our middle name's terrible.
And podcast.
Bye-bye.
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter at @MArmorRadio. Find us on iTunes and visit our website, mobilearmorradio.podbean.com. Join us on the first of every month for more Mecha discussion.